Most people think they know what driving for dollars is and exactly how to do it, but really they don't. And they kind of get started, they dabble and end up giving up and don't have a process that's automated and running without them. And in this video, we're going to show you what we're doing and how we're doing it to the best we can in the time frame we have. So the reason driving for dollars makes sense is we're trying to find people that want speed and convenience over price. My mentor, Tom Kroll, taught me we're a real estate pawn shop, right? We want to find people that understand they can fix it up and sell it for more, but they don't want to deal with it. They want to sell it now. People that maybe, inherited the property and mom was a hoarder and they don't want to deal with it. Or maybe people that are wealthy investors and they had this rental for a long time and they're burnt out and done. They don't want to deal with it, right? Tired landlords. Maybe they've gone through a divorce. Maybe they just don't want to list it with a real estate agent. They don't care. They just want to be done quickly, right? There's lots of different scenarios. So one thing that I have found is that a lot of the times when people have a property that they want to sell quickly, it's because it's a thorn in their side. And if a property is a thorn in someone's side, they don't want to take care of general maintenance. So as you drive through these neighborhoods, you'll identify houses that have physical signs of neglect, siding that's falling off, the grass has not been trimmed, the paint's peeling, shingles have blown off, lots of different things, right? And your goal is to identify those houses and see if those homeowners want to sell. That is driving for dollars. So the next part of this video, I'm going to talk about the do's and don'ts when it comes to doing driving for dollars properly. So first, you're going to want an app that helps you add these properties quickly. When I first started, I wrote down the addresses and I looked up the properties on county record. It took days to add 100 properties, for example, and it wasn't efficient. I mean, I did deals and that's why I wanted to do more of it. And I started recruiting people and had a whole bunch of people that went out and did this for me. Today, they have multiple apps. They have the Driving for Dollars app, Drive by REI. They have Batch Driven. They have a bunch of different apps. And I use the app called Deal Machine. Cheers to Deal Machine. So I don't use Deal Machine because they pay me. I don't mention them because I'm getting paid, right? I use them because it works. I've used lots of different apps and we're currently testing different apps. So we're going to talk about why Deal Machine is the app that I'm using now and why it's going to be the app that gets promoted essentially in this video. And it's because it's what makes me money, not as far as what I use in my wholesaling business. Okay, we're going to talk about what we use and what we don't use in the app. Before we go into exactly how to use the Deal Machine app, first we have to identify two things. We need to identify where you're going to drive and we have to identify what properties you want to add. So the first thing I'll say when it comes to where you're going to drive, many people teach and talk about virtual driving for dollars and using Google Maps images. And the problem with using Google Maps images is many of those, the street views on Google Maps. The problem with using street views is those images are very, very outdated. We redrive every single area within our market every 6 months. And the reason we do it that often is because we want to identify properties that are currently distressed and start marketing to them. And we're constantly refreshing that list. Because let's say a tenant, had a meth lab and the police kicked in the door and there's sofas and couches out front and there's caution tape and there's a sign on the door. Well, guess what? You want to be the one that sends the postcard or the cold call or the text to that homeowner a few days or a month after that happens. And so maybe you can see that in a street image, but the street image is 2 years old. That's not going to do you any good. I've had a lot of people talk about virtual driving for dollars, and it's a sexy conversation. It makes great YouTube content, but it's not something that is the most profitable way to do it. Can you make money doing it? Sure, but it's not what I do. It's not what I teach. It's not what I promote because it doesn't make me money. And I've tested it and it hasn't been as profitable as hiring someone to do it for you or you doing it yourself. All right, let's identify where to drive. So I'm going to give you an activity. Go to your computer, right? Go to Google and search median house price your city. So for me, Salt Lake City and Zillow, because you're gonna wanna find the median house price. It's easier to find it in Zillow. You can find it lots of places, and you're gonna scroll down in that search bar until you find your city and the median house price. That's gonna pull that up and you're gonna find your median house price. Go back to Zillow in the city and just the main Zillow homepage, and you're gonna look up properties that are sold, for sale within the sold and for sale in that area. And you'll be able to quickly identify areas that are median house prices and lower. And that's where you want to drive, because you want to be where the investors' traffic is. The majority of your deals are going to be investor-friendly opportunities, and your investor-friendly opportunities usually are median house price and lower. So trust me here, that's where you're going to want to drive. You can quickly highlight and identify those areas, and that's where you're going to go drive. Now that you know where you need to drive, let's figure out what you want to add to your marketing list. Which properties do you want to add to your list? We add anything with physical signs and neglect. Remember, we want to find people that want to pawn shop for their house. So any physical signs. When I first started, it was only the worst of the worst. Now we're adding any physical signs and neglect. So we're adding anywhere between 50 to 100 properties every single hour of driving. Obviously you need the app and the technology and using it properly to be that efficient. But you're gonna add a lot of properties to your list with a short amount of time. So I'm gonna share a gift with you. I'm gonna share with you my driving for dollars criteria. I call it my driving for dollars cheat sheet. It's exactly what we look for. It lays out all of the things to look for. So you can get that in the show notes. Okay, so if you'd like to get that free resource, you just put in your email, we'll send it to you. And anyways, free gift for you for this, for watching this video. All right, now you know where to drive and how to drive. Let's revisit Deal Machine. Cheers. So Deal Machine is, like I said, it's an app that you add properties. I love the company, and I've been involved with a lot of the updates and changes to the company, but I believe that they have so much in there that you can become overwhelmed and confused on what to use and what not to use, right? For example, they have 3 different ways currently to add properties to your marketing list. You can get out of your car and take a picture of the house, so you can have the picture of the house on your postcard, which don't do that, waste of time, waste of money. There's also another version that's called Tap to Add, and another that's called Pin Mode, I think. Obviously, I use Tap to Add because I know it the best, right? We've used all of them. The most efficient and fastest way is Tap to Add. All you have to do is identify the house. It's a Google Street Map image, right? As you're driving along, you'll be able to identify the house and you push the button. Okay, and that button will then upload all of the information into an Excel spreadsheet. When you go out to start your drive, you're gonna be able to hit Start Drive. And that's gonna initiate the ability to have route tracking. So then when you go in, you can identify where you drove, when you drove there, it's color coordinated. So then if you hire someone else, this is essential, and why Deal Machine's so awesome, it's essential to have all of that data, because on the desktop version, you can go down to analytics, as you can see here, and then you're gonna be able to see your routes, how many addresses you added, if you hired someone else to do it for you, how many addresses they added and how much time, how many miles they drove. So if you're paying someone hourly, you can see how many hours they actually drove. You can identify which properties they added. It's going to be a lot easier to manage someone and make sure they're doing their job properly, because you're not going to be there with them. So Deal Machine is so essential because of some of those add-ons and tech development that they have there. Deal Machine, you have the ability to send postcards and text message and cold call right there within the app. We don't use Deal Machine for any of those things. We just use it to build our database, and then we export that list out. In my company, we text, cold call, and postcard that list, right? Because once you build that list, now you gotta find out if they want to sell. If you guys would like to get a free trial to the Deal Machine app and play with it and test it out, you can get a free trial if you use the discount code PIN, P-I-N. There's a lot to this process. I tried to break it down in simple and the fastest way that I could for this YouTube video. But if you're wanting help in getting started in real estate wholesaling, if you're wanting to break down exactly how to text, how to cold call, how to send these postcards, how to use the app exactly, how to manage and train and hire people to drive for you, how to negotiate with your sellers, how to do the disposition process, everything around real estate wholesaling, wholesaling. And even more valuable is having direct access to me, having my cell phone, being able to help you on your deals. You can go in and book a call to talk to us about my coaching program. Go to dfdmastery.com/start now. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If there's anything that you have questions on, go ahead and leave it in the comments section so we can get it covered in a future video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.